As the new class president, the new hall monitor, the office manager is being voted in, or rather selected today, I just want to express how annoyed I am right now of this particular tendency in pop culture that has been bubbling up for the past 32 years, and that is to shame people who either don't vote or are now exercising their right to vote, but want to put their vote to alternative candidates. There's been all kinds of blustering, bullying think pieces, and I use the word think piece loosely, like Robert Chappell's Third-Party Voting is the Height of White Privilege, which was written last month. See, this tendency is increasing more and more, even on the very day that people are casting their votes. I really don't want anyone to have to get with that one annoying family member, relative, friend, or even people standing on the voting lines right now, trying to shame you into changing your vote or whatever it is that you want to do. Fuck those people. Fuck them. This shame was used from Chappell's article to go after Bernie supporters who were angry at the reveal that Bernie's loss in the Democratic Party's primary was indeed an orchestrated fix. Instead of all these deluded liberals becoming angry and finally representing the major walkout that the Democratic Party deserves, and hopefully a push to the left that American politics needs to motivate a more militant opposition to the American right, they chose to stick with candidate Hillary Clinton, who has shown that she will fuck over anyone who stands in her way, including the democratic process itself, such as it is. Also, she can prove to the men's club of the ruling class that Hillary can serve them better than Trump ever could, and still keep working poor people pacified in their place. Chappell's piece was mired in irony, as white liberal condescension flowed from it heavily, aimed at other white people, claiming how a Trump victory would not be that much of a big deal for them. But think about the poor, struggling people of color. They just cannot handle a Trump win. Of course, this is an insult to me, both as a person of color and someone who was of the working class. Usually the economic crises are brought on by the likes of Trump. And it's usually people of color and poor people who bear the brunt of an economic crisis. Either way, Chappell's warning he can keep and he can shove it up his ass. Let's be real. We are all fucked under Trump. And as always, with middle-class white liberals, they see the Democratic leadership is looking out for them. So, all this talk of white privilege exemplified as protest votes for the candidate of choice or alternative candidates is a ruse. Chappell is using people of color suffering to hide his own bourgeois liberal agenda, which is to protect his own self-interest. More so, his fear to fight for real change and upset the established order. See, that kind of stuff requires direct action, activism, and organizing. It means being on the outside. You know, all the stuff that working class people of all stripes would know something about. See, that shit is uncomfortable and it's unsexy for him. It's people like Chappell who have always stood in the way of progression. When all the times in recent history that the Democratic Party needed the internalized combustion that would destroy it, and from the aftermath something new could come out of it, people like Chappell work hard to keep the left on the margins within the Democratic Party and act as agents of fear-mongering to get white liberals and people of color to stay with the Democrats. And as a result, look what we get under the Democrats when they are in the White House. School-to-prison pipeline. No jobs for poor youth. See school-to-prison pipeline. Perpetual occupation of Afghanistan and Iraq and other oil-rich lands. Military budgets that take away from inner-city schools. Laws like the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012, the continuance of the Patriot Act, and all other attacks on human and democratic rights. Lastly, laws that say it's okay for the police to kill citizens, particularly people of color and especially black people, and no trial or conviction of killer cops when this happens. So, under all of that, are we really the ones throwing our votes away? I've already stated why I don't discourage others from voting in my last two videos earlier this year, so I don't need to repeat them. I will just say You vote for who you want to, but realize that alternative candidates are running to challenge the two-party system, and one of the best ways to help them fight the notion that this is the system we were quote-unquote given is to participate by supporting them and the process to alter this system. But most importantly, keep in mind that the real process for social change is really community building, organizing, and activism. Voting did not get the Civil Rights Bill passed or any of the other social wins that we have gained. The past struggles have done that, and it looks like the fact that we have this supposed choice between Trump or Hillary, well, that's no choice at all. And with that being the case, our social ills will need more than voting. We will need to build a revolution for better alternatives. This is the Garage Autonomist.